Hello, my Facebook livers, and hello, my Instagrammers. It's so good to see you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate and also one of the country's leading interior design coaches, because I help thousands and thousands of women, already have helped, I should say, thousands and thousands of women to turn around disappointing design results, to surprise themselves with gorgeous results that they didn't even know they can get working on their own home. We do that with our online courses that are geared just for you, smart, savvy, talented women working on your own home. And I'm so happy to stop what we're doing here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We stop what we're doing at our luxury design company, and we come out here to teach a lesson, take some questions, and take it from there. So I see you guys, signing in and waving in, so it's good to see you. Listen, now, if you are in harm's way or on watch for this storm for Dorian, I want you to know that we are all thinking of you so much here, and stay in touch with us. Let us know how you're doing. We're worried about you. We're sending you lots of love and light and hugs and protective prayers, and we hope that everything, passes over you, and that it's going to be easy for you and your family. But I know how stressful these things are, and you may have relatives that are in line with the storm. I know we do, and some wonderful team members as well. So we've been thinking and praying about all of them as well. So that aside, I hope you had a good holiday weekend. And let's take a deep dive now into not live on Instagram. Really, I'm getting waves on Instagram.
It's not popping up.
It's not popping up. I'm getting waves. I don't know what else to do. So
You can keep it
okay, I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm going to roll it on. Okay, there you go. This happened to us last time. We're going to have to check this out. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, this week's topic is all about how to update a dated interior. Now that everybody's coming out of the summer and your minds are now, going back to your own interior design projects, sprucing up your home for fall, sprucing up your home for perhaps the holidays, this is the time to start thinking about it. So when you talk about doing an update to a dated interior, there are a couple of ways we could talk about this, right? We can talk about like the whole from the scratch, rip it apart, start over, and spend scads of dollars. Or we can talk about what are the 3 areas that most date an interior, and how do you work with those? How do you combat those? So that's what we're going to do for you, okay? And when I'm done teaching, I would love to take your questions on updating your own space. And I'd also love for you to put into us now, either you guys can type it in, and certainly Facebookers, love for you to type in, what do you struggle with most around updating a room that you're kind of looking at and scratching your head thinking, this needs a little help. So let's talk about what are those 3 areas. Well, there are 3 key areas. We even taught this in design school, at least I was. 3 key areas that will date any interior. So let's look at it that way. And what are those key areas? One of them is lighting. Nothing will date an interior like light fixtures. Oh my gosh. So if your light fixtures have that brassy gold color of the late 1990s, early 2000s, really dating your interiors. If you've got a lot of really curlicue, scrolly kinds of light fixtures from that late 1990s, early to mid 2000s, you could be looking kind of dated there as well, early 2000s. If you have lampshades and lamps from that time period, chances are you might have lamps with, if they're dated, you might have lamps in that kind of, really glaring golden color, or you might have things in that kind of pottery, flowery kind of look, very dated from that time period. Your lamp shades, oh my gosh, that's a biggie. You might have things with that shade that goes like this. It's called an empire shade. And while I do this with my fingers, we replay these on our YouTube channel in case you miss it live. And of course, it stays on live for a while on Insta, just for 24 hours, on Facebook, longer, but it moves down in the feed. And I got a comment from someone saying, hey, I'm a visual learner. I know you are, but the visual learning and lesson planning is a big chunk of time for us to plan and create to do well. So we do that in our free workshops and in our courses. And here during these Facebook Lives, the point of these is to be able to just stop what we're doing, come out and teach on something that we think is meaningful. And we do put a lot of time and planning into our overall calendar so that we're talking about things that we think are relevant to the time of year you're in, and that we can give you good quality takeaway without being too visual. So I get that these are not visual lessons. So anyway, Empire, those shades that do this, kind of flare at the end, the Empire shades. If you have those in on your lamps, chances are you're looking kind of dated there. So there are some other shades that are probably let's talk about what would be easiest to update to then. So certainly, changing out your lampshades, so easy to do. You can go to something called a drum shade, which is just a simple barrel, right, straight around. The thing to know, though, if you are updating your lampshades, take your lamp with you. Most of the lighting stores in your area will have some additional shades for sale. I know Home Goods very often does as well, but they're not a lighting store per se. So finding, a pair isn't always the easiest if you have a pair of lamps. But here's the thing. Take your lamp to the lighting store so that you can try shades on and make sure that the shade is deep enough to hide the neck of the lamp, the mechanism that turns everything on, and also know that the harp that holds on the lampshade, you can always, from a lighting store, you can always shorten that harp up a little bit if you need to drop a shade that you love, or conversely, you can get a taller harp so that you can, raise that shade. And harps are not expensive. We've done that for all kinds of projects at this point. So you can update your lamps by doing something with replacing your shades. That's the lowest cost way to do that. Also, something else super easy to do, hit Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up a can of Rust-Oleum or something along that line, which is a spray paint, and you can spray down your lamps. And I'm going to tell you right now, I design it. I don't do it. I am not a crafty girl. I'm a savvy girl, but I'm not a crafter. Even I have spray painted lamps, and you can do spray painted finishes that look like a burnished silver, that look like a bright silver, that look like a dark bronze. So very, very easy to do that with a lamp. Just do it in a well-ventilated space, either a garage, outdoors, on some newspaper, and just spray away, baby. And it is amazing how hugely transformed any lamp will be if you just spray paint it and then update those shades. Also, for your light fixtures that are hanging, we've actually had professional painters as well as very motivated hubs and clients. We've had them spray paint down big foyer chandeliers that were really bronzy, really brassy looking, I should say. We've done it with kitchen light fixtures. So there's a lot you can do just by changing the finish. Now, if the silhouette of that light fixture is such that it is just really uber traditional and now you're not traditional, or just really dated looking and you just want to go into something a little fresher, more current, changing out your lamps or your light fixtures doesn't have to be a huge expense if you realize that it's okay to go to a Lowe's or a Home Goods, or rather a Home Depot for hanging fixtures. And there are also some great online retailers where you can find fixtures that don't cost a gajillion dollars. There are a lot of fixtures that are being brought in from overseas in all manner of price points. And I always have to chuckle to myself when I work with a client on a really big kitchen renovation. And the cabinetry always comes in at a number that, clients want to have, eat nitroglycerin tablets. But it's amazing when the kitchen is done, people walk in and they'll say, "Oh, I love your light fixtures." That's how important the light fixtures are in any room. They are the jewelry of the room. So don't ignore them. If they're looking dated, do something about it. It's a simple and fast update in truly any room, and certainly something you can do if you've got limited funds right now and you really want to update things by the time Halloween and Thanksgiving and the winter holidays are running around to you. So again, if you're just joining us, I'd love for you to type in and tell me what it is that you find challenging about updating your space, and I'm going to keep teaching. So that was item number one, was lighting really dates a space very quickly. So what's another element? Well, it's wall color. Oh yeah. So I have different courses where I teach about color. at an upcoming Design Diva conference. We're doing a really cool dive into color that's going to be a mind blower for people. But what I want you to know now about wall color and any color, just as we started to touch on in our lamp discussion, in our light fixture discussion, color hugely impacts your perception of something, right? An item, but also a room. So if you have a wall color that was super, super trendy in the late 1990s, the early 2000s, like burgundy, that really brassy gold color, yellowy gold, that hunter green, chances are you're looking kind of dated right now. And conversely, in addition, if you have a first floor where every single room on that first floor is chunked into a different wall color, we're not really doing that as much. In the last few years, the trend has been to just take a single color and just wrap most of the space in that, maybe breaking for a kitchen, maybe breaking for a dining room to do something a little different. But if you're breaking into very different colors in every single room, we're being asked to do that less and less. So, easy update, can of paint, change that wall color, maybe changing a couple of rooms of wall color. You can, if you're on a tight budget, you can do it yourself. If you have a semi-budget, you can bring in some friends and do a painting party and order in some pizza or some salads and have a little Pinot Grigio after the wall color is up, of course. You can get that wall color updated as well. And then the last thing, and again, please feel free, tell me what it is that you struggle with updating your spaces, because I love hearing what's on that gorgeous designing mind of yours. So the last thing is window treatments. Oh my gosh, I had a design teacher in school was constantly saying to us, watch your light fixtures, your wall color, and your window treatments. Watch those window treatments. Nothing dates a space the way a window treatment does. Think about it. Your window treatments surround the single most important, if not the most important, focal point in your room, your windows, all that glass that you pay for in your rent check or your mortgage payment or in your purchase price. So they're massive. They are absolute attention getters, right? So if your window treatments either embrace some of those more dated colors that I've talked about, or more than that, it's the delivery of the color, as I teach about when I teach about trends. If your window treatments have swags, right, that meow, 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 or if they have those tails that hang down called jabots or jabots, depending upon how you pronounce it. Katie, did you know that I am brushing up on my French? Did you know I'm teaching myself French? I'm going to do it. I'm doing it as a fun thing now, and I may even treat myself to some lessons. Just saying, just this way when I go back to France on business or pleasure, I won't sound like a total nitwit when I talk to the French lovelies that I am speaking to there. Anyway, window treatments, swags, jabots, no good, very, very dated. Big balloon kinds of treatments. The balloon shades can still work if you're doing a baby nursery, a glammy glam space for a woman. You can get away with those. But for the most part, those big billowy balloon valances with panels hanging to the sides of them. Now, tiebacks. It depends on how the tieback is delivered. Some tiebacks look really current and fresh. Sometimes you have to do a tieback to control a fabric, a big panel of fabric. We've had to do that, but when we do it, we don't do a very big belly on that fabric, right? On that tieback. And you can do a bigger belly on a tieback, but again, it's the updated fabrics and colors that you're working with that help it to continue to look fresh and current. Also, if you have treatments hanging in your home from the late 1990s, early 2000s, something that was very lace-filled, lots of lace, that look has really come and gone. And if you have something hanging in your home that has a lot of ornamentation, not only, you know, the swags across the top, but also, you know, there's I don't know, what kind of fringe? Let's say ball fringe hanging, or pick another fringe. I'm so tired today. I'm not thinking, my words aren't coming. Ball fringe or tassel fringe. There you go. What was that?
It's a brush fringe.
Brush fringe. You don't really do brush fringe. That's a fringe that would be on a pillow. Now, Katie's tired too. She just came back from Burning Man. She's still removing dust from her hair, told me about a vinegar rinse she just did, and her nails are so dry that Katie and I, just before we came live, I did it as a supportive coworker. This is the greatest product. They're Katie's nails. This is the greatest product. It's by Sally Hansen, and it's called, what is it called? It's called Moisture Rehab. Oh my gosh, this stuff is the boss, and it's like less than $8 or $9. Anyway, get rid of those really dated window treatments. They're sucking the life out of your rooms. And we were taught in design school, I was anyway, by a teacher who, she was a little bit of a nut, but I agreed with a lot of what she said. And she said, nothing in a room is better than something bad. So if you really want to update a window treatment and you think, oh, you know, I just don't want to spend the money on it right now, even though there are plenty of great things that you can do if you know what you're doing, plenty of great things you can do with ready-mades. But better to remove something and have an empty window and a beautiful room around it, update that lighting, get your furniture arrangement shored up, whatever it is you're working on. Get rid of that dated treatment. I don't care what you spent on it. I know it's painful. Rip off the Band-Aid. If the conversation is, how do you update a dated space? The three big, you know, nanny poo-poos are dated lighting, wall color, and also your window treatments. You cannot have those dated elements in a room and not have a room look stale. It just is what it is. All righty. So if you have a moment, I'd like you to tell me what you think is the toughest thing about picking out, or I should say, about handling and updating your rooms, your dated rooms. Okay, so I'm getting hellos from people. Hello, hi Ruth. Hi Ruth. Hi Kim. Hi Studebae. Sally is saying hello. I'm getting waves from Instagram. Hello, all my Instagrammers. Can't read you well enough to be able to say hello to you specifically, but hugs to you too. Okay, so Gail is saying that choosing a paint color is always a struggle. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'm getting hellos from Sheila. She's out in Columbus, Ohio. Terry is saying that she has that orangey oak trim in my home, which is early 1990s. Is there an easy way to update it? Is painting the only option? Yes, there's an easy way. Painting is your option. That's it. But again, Terry, rip off the Band-Aid. You will love it when you get rid of it. Your rooms are going to feel, your ceilings are going to feel taller. Your walls are going to move out away from you, because right now, Terry, you have something on your wall that's advancing toward the eye and everything's shrinking and coming forward towards you. So I think you'll love it once you do it. Tanya's saying, I bought a couch for my, okay, this sounds like a design question. I bought a couch for my daughter, the daughter of my best friend. It's a pretty Ethan Allen couch with a tapestry upholstery. Okay, this is the design question. So Tony, I'm gonna need a picture to be able to answer you, so I'm not gonna answer that. Karen is saying, updating open concept living and dining area. We'll have to live with a medium colored, simple wood stained millwork and doors and taupe carpeting. Okay, it's a specific design question. Right now I'm looking for what do you struggle with when updating? Okay. Tonya is saying you can't figure out how to add a picture. Tonya, I don't take pictures during my Facebook Lives. The only place I look at pictures is from my students and my courses in my private Facebook groups. So that's could be why you can't add one now. I don't know, but I won't be able to take it from you now. Lisa is saying you want to update your office and the lights need to be updated. So Lisa's struggling with lighting. Okay, perfect, Lisa. I hope we gave you some great takeaway, what you can do right off the bat. Dana is saying, how do you pick window treatments? There are so many choices. She wants natural woods, but she's afraid you'll make it too dark. Okay, I'll wrap back to you on that, Dana. Also, Dana wants to know about updating kitchen counters. So updating the finishes is what Dana's saying, updating counters and lighting and how to coordinate it all. Got it? Okay. Maria saying, thanks for this information. You're welcome, Maria. Val is saying, how can I update a cherry pedestal dining table with Chippendale chairs? New chairs, what type, paint? Okay, I'm going to take this question because this is a broad enough question that all of you can benefit from this, and I don't need to see a picture to answer Val. So the easiest thing to do to update without painting the table, here's the problem with painting the table. That table's going to get some wear and tear, Val. And if it's not a professional grade furniture finish, as would be applied in a factory or a workroom, that baby's gonna just chip like crazy. So here's what I'm gonna suggest. First thing I would do, would be to get rid of those Chippendale style chairs and look for simple upholstered chairs. You can do, let's say you have 8 chairs in total. You can do 6 armless chairs called side diners. Those are the armless chairs. And those can, let's say, be in a simple fabric. And then your lead chairs, or your host and hostess chairs, can either also be armless, but they can be maybe a little bit taller or a little bit bigger, or they can have arms, and they can be done either in the same fabric, but a different silhouette of chair, or they can be done in an accent fabric, okay? Just make sure that if you do alter your dining chairs, the side diners and the lead chairs, if they're 2 different chairs, make sure that you're controlling what the height of the chair backs are, because it would look a little strange for many of us, depending upon your design fingerprint, unless you're uber modern. It would look pretty weird to have low backs on your lead chairs and high backs on all the side diners. It's the host and the hostess, right? They should have the most prominent looking chairs. So just make sure that you're controlling that, and when you're shopping, that you're looking for what are my chair heights. So that's going to be the quickest way to update. And then if you wanted to, you could paint your sideboard, but you may not need to. You may find that just updating everything around it, new light fixture, new chairs, new wall color, maybe that'll update that dining table and that dining set for you enough, Val. Okay, Michelle is saying that I'm killing her. Okay, it's as if I have visited your home. Early 2000s deco with gold and green walls, iron lighting, feeling overwhelmed. Michelle, don't feel overwhelmed. You know, what is that expression? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, or the one I prefer, how do you wash a 2-ton elephant? 1 inch at a time. All I want you to do right off the bat, Michelle, just update your lighting. I want you to do a plan. If you want, you can do some planning. Okay, I think my walls will go to this type of color. That's called concept development. You don't have to do it all at once. Maybe the funds aren't there right now. Maybe the energy isn't right there right now for you to do it. But if you just update your light fixtures, oh my gosh, you will have a tremendous bang for the buck, and you'll feel a big change. Katie's telling me final 2 questions. Let me see what else we have. Okay, Susan has telling me about a 63 ranch, 4-year living room, dining room, hall are all shimmering sand. Okay, this sounds like a very specific question and a long one. I'm going to see if there's something quicker I can take. Dina is saying updating is difficult. And also, Susan, I know you're one of my students, so I know you can plug that question into one of my private groups, and we will get an answer to you, okay? And you can post pictures also, Susan, which, for a question like you're asking, I'd want to see pictures, and so would our team. Margaret's saying hello. Okay, Dina's saying updating is difficult because it definitely makes the old style look even more dated. In my mind, I see it as an all or nothing project. I'm so glad you said that, Dina, because I don't want you to feel like it's all or nothing. That's like saying, unless I can lose 20 pounds tomorrow, why bother? Pass me that fudge sundae. It's small but wise changes in design make a massive difference. And I have to tell you that I think some of the most beautiful interiors are the ones that look collected. And I think that's harder to do. I know it's something as a designer I think about doing for certain clients that want that feeling. So it doesn't feel like everything just came out of the Pottery Barn catalog off of the same page, or out of the Ethan Allen store from 1998 or 2016 or 2010. So it looks like you have put this together the way a European sensibility might have pulled something together, the way somebody in Europe might have done that. So I would look at it that way instead of, oh, this new piece is going to make my old piece look dated. Now, that said, you do need to make sure that your furniture silhouettes are in conversation, that your colors are working together. Certainly that's something I'm teaching at the Design Diva conference in a couple of weeks. I'm so excited it's coming up. So there is an art to what goes with what, but I don't want you to feel that you have to throw it all out and to be able to start and make some beautiful inroads. And again, guys, you can start with the concept and roll through it piece by piece as budget allows, as your attention span allows, as your energy level allows as well. So hopefully that helps you. Tonya, you are welcome. Last 2 questions. Jerry is saying choosing a neutral wall in an open concept home that has some areas with no natural light. as well as areas with full sun is difficult for me. You know, I teach about paint selection in one of my courses, actually in both of my courses, Decorating Genius System as well as the Design CPR system. And Jerry, that's actually a bigger answer than I can give you in this Facebook Live. So I'm going to encourage you to take a look at one of those courses. It's not a cheap plug. It's just the reality of a big question you've asked me. And I don't want to give you a crappy answer just to be flippant and then send you down a rabbit trail. So I'm giving you that answer, and I'm doing it with a hug. Darlene is asking what kind of balances are dated and what should be avoided. Well, Darlene, I'm glad you're asking. We're putting up a great piece of free content, 3 trends to try and 3 to avoid. So I encourage you to get your hands on that, Darlene, because it'll talk about what is dated and what you don't want to do anymore. Marsha's saying she struggles with her husband. That's a great answer. I've never had that answer to the question, what do you struggle with most? I struggle with my husband accepting change. Oh, are you married to Steve Hoffman too? Yeah, I married one of those. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. A couple of answers. Let's see. Happy wife, happy life. That's one answer. The second answer is that you just explain, you know, babe, you look so awesome in that huckapoo shirt in the 1970s or however old you are, but you look like a goofball in it right now. And I looked great in my hot pants in the 19 whatevers, but I look like a nitwit wearing them now. So we all have to move forward. You know, your hair has changed a little bit, your style has changed a little bit. Same thing with our homes. There you go. So hopefully that'll help you. And I know somebody, I know I'm running along on time here, Katie. Somebody asked me a good question that I said I would wrap back to. Okay. Gail is saying choosing a paint color is always a struggle. I think that's what I wanted to wrap back to. Gail, I'm going to give you the same answer that I gave to someone else, which is that choosing a paint color is actually a bigger discussion than a Facebook Live. You have to have visuals around you. You need to understand what color does. Colors do something to each other. Color is dynamic. It just doesn't sit there like a pen on my desk right now. It actually does something. It has action. The color in your room right now, all of those colors are doing something to each other and to your eye. And you need to understand that so that you then know what kind of color you should be selecting. You need to understand undertone so you know what kind of color you should be selecting. And you also need to know the goal in your particular room of your paint color. Do you want it to push the furniture away from the wall? Do you want it to suck the furniture into the wall? So it's a bigger discussion. And as I said to somebody earlier, if you want a bigger lesson from me on that, which needs visuals, Decorating Genius System would be a great course for you to check out. And then somebody had asked a question about choosing the right window treatments because there are so many choices. I had told Katie before this that I wasn't going to tell you about this, but I'm going to tell you about this. I'm doing a new free workshop in about 5 weeks or so, all about window treatment confusion. So we'll be talking about that. I'm going to be kicking off a brand new course all about window treatments called Window Boss, how to plan and select your perfect window treatments, whether ready-made, semi-customs, or customs. At the end of that free workshop, I'll be talking about that new course. Don't get pissed when you hear me talk about that course. If you don't want to learn about the course, just file your nails and stick around until I take Q&A, which I will in that great workshop. And there's great takeaway in that workshop as well. So hopefully that I'm getting a lot of thumbs and happiness things flying on Facebook on that one. So hopefully that will help you because there is a lot to know about what to pick out with window treatments. The average home has 16 stinking windows. 16 windows! The cost can be astronomical when you think about the mistakes and the common mistakes. So hopefully this workshop, this freebie workshop, will be great for you and really get your thinking aligned. So that'll be happening in October. So stay tuned on that. All right, next week, I want to let you know what we're talking about. We are talking about, actually, it is a window treatment topic. I got this wonderful note from one of you, and I'm actually making what she said in her note. I'm making it the title of next week's Facebook Live, and it is, I'm terrified of drapery selection and not creating proper flow. So next week's topic is I'm terrified of drapery selection and not creating proper flow in my home. So that's what we'll be talking about. Do want to let you know that if you're not already following us on Instagram, give us a follow at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius. And if you want to follow us at our, really anything else actually, you can find us on YouTube. You can see replays of all of our Facebook Lives, as well as other videos that we do that are quite visual, that are great teaching videos. And we just shot some stuff that's being edited now, all about vintage shopping, doing a little, not thrifting, but we went vintage shopping. And also Katie and I took you into a great a design show as well. So, hey now, what up with that? The Design Diva Conference, girlfriend, it's coming. It's coming September 28 and 29. We are so excited. This is a high-touch day-and-a-half conference where you will be working on your design project. You will be walking out with actionable information. If you are a newbie designer, if you're thinking of getting into design, if you're a stager, you'll have great takeaway as well. I'm going to be teaching some more advanced things, but in a very accessible way, because that's how I roll as a design coach, which is why I've gotten the wonderful feedback and accolades that I have from you and also from the press. So I hope you'll join us September 28 and 29. Head to our website at theinteriordesignadvocate.com/events, or just go to the events page, I guess, is the best way to do it. You can learn more about the conference. But Katie and I have a meeting. When is that set up for? Thursday or when, or tomorrow? Tomorrow. We are finalizing the menus. Yes, we're giving you breakfast and lunch and snacks and all kinds of goody things, and finalizing some cool logistics for that conference. So I hope you can join us for that as well. Okay, dolls, I will see you next week for help. I'm terrified of drapery selection and not creating great flow in my room or home. So we'll see you next week at 4 p.m. Eastern. And until then, big hug to you. Have a good week.